Good morning. So I woke up and came into an email today, and it's not the first time that I've came across emails like this to us. And it was basically somebody that was condemning me for the use of RT for the most of the news, and even more so because I don't have quote unquote intel that I provide. And what they are talking about is that basically, now keep in mind this individual has a number of times sent in quote unquote information, wanting me to report on it, wanting me to talk about it. And I can say that out of all the times that they've sent information, I have reported on it none. And the reason why is because it's the damnedest thing. I go and I look and I try to corroborate the information that was provided to me, and I can't do it. You know, folks, one of the responsibilities of doing news is by not running with anything that you can get. People lie. A lot of people will lie. And if you offer a liar the incentive of a large audience, they will be more likely to lie. And so often whenever you get intel coming from people, you in many cases, a lot of it's hard to verify because a lot of it may be local stuff or just wasn't newsworthy enough to hit the news cycles, and that happens. But a lot of times it's bunk. And a lot of times if you watch and you pay close attention to how, for instance, if it's an email, how it's written. A good example, I was watching Bear this morning, and he does his national intel thing, right? And maybe that's why I'm kind of being asked about this or pushed for this. No, I'm sorry, I cannot carry tales for people. The Father will not approve it. For instance, today somebody wrote in, I don't know, something. They went into the whole spiel about Muslim, Middle Eastern Indians that come to the United States to live. Went into the whole spiel. Right? And we know that there are things that they take advantage of that are not cool, like the tax system and stuff like that. But somebody with their personal agenda against another faith is going to sit there and beat that dead horse, but won't do anything to fix the problem. So they don't want to fix the problem because they don't really see that as the problem. What they really see as the problem is the fact that that person is here to begin with. And that's where the root of the problem is. You'll never be able to satiate their complaints because they're not being honest about the root. The reason I don't share quote unquote intel is because I'm going to be real honest with you. More often than not, I've found it not to be true when people send stuff in. If I cannot verify something, not even a little bit, I'm certainly not going to run with it. And it's a pretty off chance that I'm even going to report on it. There are times that I will report on far-reaching thoughts, far-reaching conspiracy. But it's not real often. And I make it very clear. Very, very, very clear. I don't want there to be any mistake. I want it to be very clear whether or not the information I provide is facts that can absolutely be traced back, or whether or not it's opinion, it's assumption, it's, you name it. So that's why I don't do it. It's not because I hate all my viewers, or it's not because you're not worthy. It's nothing like that. It's nothing like that. The Father sent me to do this. It's the reason I'm here. I say it all the time. You would think people would pick up on it after a while. You think it would be, I don't know, obvious after a while. But it's really not so much. It's really, truly not so much. Let me bring you over here, right? This is the big bad Watchman back end. Yeah, all right. So let's go over to the dashboard here. I am setting at 1 penny. That's right. That's right. We are at 1 penny. This was my removal, by the way, my content removal I told you about last night during the live show. That was that. So, but yeah, 1 penny, yo. 1 penny. Like, we're gonna really be partying it up. You have to have, unless it's changed, the last I knew, you had to have $100 in your Google AdSense before you could cash out, if I'm not mistaken. So, at like a penny a month, yeah, I'm gonna be a penny-naire. Anyway, not even a penny-naire. That's pretty bad. Be very careful of the information that you allow in your minds, because there's a lot of people out there with a lot of different agendas, most of it rooted in hate of one kind or another. And they're certainly not going to be honest about it, not in most cases. But I won't do intel because there's too much stuff that I can't verify. And I'm not going to sit there and carry tales for people or to help enable somebody else's agenda. I'm not going to do it. And, you know, if I were to start reading into something like Bear was reading today, and he's, you know, started reading into, going into the whole damn stereotype of Middle Eastern Indian, that wouldn't even made it in the report for me to speak about. That would have never even made it in the report, because I'm telling you right now, anybody with a lick of common sense can tell you the root of that information. Yet it was allowed to be presented to you. A lot of people get mad at me for me pointing out certain things about how they are acting. You're not mad at me. You're mad at God. All I'm doing is blowing my trumpet as commanded by Him. As commanded by Him. Ain't none of this log in my eye bullshit. I am commanded to blow my trumpet, to try to prevent fellow brothers and sisters from falling, from stumbling. People use that Bible like a weapon. They use it as a form of control. They use it as a way to bring in a ton of money. Wonder if we know any YouTubers that use God to bring in a ton of money. Do we? I think so. That's using the Father's name in vain. That's the true definition of using the Father's name in vain. Not just cuss words. Nah, it goes much deeper than that. Anyway, that's why I don't do, quote unquote, intel, because in many, many cases it's not intel at all. It's merely propaganda, agenda. And homie don't play that. Neither does the Father. Shalom.